Because I gave you a hard time for enjoying it so much.
I loved Niagara Falls. And so I'm actually going to be in Niagara Falls again next week, which is going to be an event that they're having over there. So I'm going to be there with my crew, talking about mortgages and helping people kind of get organized to buy their income properties. So that's going to be that.
Very fun.
Yeah, it really is. I'm super excited about it.
You're like a celebrity now.
Maybe we'll get Scott and Michael to actually come on the show. We have to actually,
Yes.
yes. So
Good.
we'll sign a petition. We need Michael and Scott to be on the show with us. The other thing that very exciting this week, we officially launched a new company, which is Northeast Commercial. So Northeast Mortgages has always done commercial mortgage transactions. I mean, we were always a full service brokerage, which means we did multi-units, we did commercial properties, we did industrial properties. But there was a need for us to create an entity on itself just to better serve the clients. So we've created that this week. The agency executive officer, who's basically going to be running the show along with Marav, my wife. Marav is going to be the president of Northeast Commercial, is Pierre Atala. So Pierre Atala was he's been in the business for many, 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 many years. He had actually started kind of going into retirement, and I called him up and I said, "Listen,
You don't want to. You don't want to sit around and golf yet.
Yeah, exactly." So we kind of pulled him out of retirement, and he's back. He's back with us right now, and that's going to be fun. And the next thing that is kind of very interesting has to do with the types of transactions that are going on right now in the industry. So typically January and February are very quiet months, especially when it's this cold outside and, there's snow like that's reaching the rooftops, because we've had like ridiculous amounts of snow and ice and all kinds of silliness this year. No, really not. But this year is kind of a very unique year. What happened is we ended the year last year with all the mortgage rules and people scrambling to get pre-approved to buy the houses before the rules change and all this craziness. And then what ended up happening is that ended, but it created a buzz. And that buzz has spilt over into 2018. And right now what we're seeing is a crazy amount of people who are flooding the market to buy. Typically, we see this later on in the year. So we'll see this starting in late February, beginning of March, but we've seen this starting from the beginning of January. I think this is one of the first time in probably the last 10 years that we've had a January loaded with real estate transactions going on.
Even with all the changes. You think
Even
people
with
would
all
have
the
been
changes.
scared off a little bit?
No, they're not. They're like flooding the market right now, which kind of is causing a little bit of a problem because there isn't enough inventory. So there's actually a shortage of homes that are priced between 300 to about 450,000. That price range of home is basically in higher demand. So because it's in higher demand, there's not enough out there. So
you can
people
get more for it.
Exactly. So what ends up happening is people that would have sold their house. So the mortgage rules when they came in caused this kind of ripple effect, right? So people that were going to list their house and they were thinking about selling their house for, let's say, $350,000 or $400,000, their natural kind of progression after that was going to be to upgrade to another property, right? So they were going to buy something that's in the high fours or 500s. But unfortunately, because of the new mortgage rules, they don't qualify.
Right.
And because they don't qualify, now all of a sudden, their buying power, right? Because their buying power has dropped, they figure, well, you know what? Seeing as we're not able to upgrade, we're not going to sell the house. We're just going to stay put. So they end up staying in their house, which means that there's less houses on the market, which causes a demand. Last year, all the houses that we actually listed in the mid 300s ended up selling within 72 hours, usually. And they pretty much sold over asking price. We had one, I think it was, Eleni can probably give you the better number, but I think it sold about $20,000 over listing, which is pretty impressive.
Right.
Right.
Unusual.
Really, really unusual. Really unusual. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about buying your first home. I mean, I've now got one home under my belt, but
we got to get you some more.
We got to get more. I want to build an empire.
That's right.
But you got to start with one. The empire starts with one. So let's start with actually like pros and cons of buying versus renting. I mean, I've always heard that investing in real estate is the best thing you can do. That's where you put your money if you have a little bit of money. But I have other friends that are very successful that swear by renting.
You know, if there wasn't renters out there, I would be out of business, right? Because
Right.
although my main business right now is mortgages and real estate, once upon a time, my main business was buying and renting out properties. So obviously there needs to be renters, just like there needs to be buyers. What's right for one person is not necessarily going to be right for the other. So I think that the majority of people, if and when you decide that you want to buy, it is the right decision for you. You know, if you're the type of person that is very diligent in kind of saving their money and you don't want to spend anything, and why would you go and throw money away every month? Don't forget, every mortgage payment that you make, there's a portion that goes to principal and a portion that goes to capital. Sorry, portion that goes to principal and a portion that goes to interest, right? The interest portion is equivalent to you paying rent. The principal portion is the equivalent of you saving, right? So, you know, if you're that type of, and I mean, we can kind of go through it a little bit more after traffic.
Sure.
My personal philosophy has always been to buy rather than to rent. But anyways, we'll talk a little bit more after traffic.
Okay, more on the pros and the cons of buying versus renting
Yeah.
after this. But first, let's take a look at the roads with Kira Yeager.
We recently had a stalled vehicle on the westbound Metropolitan at around Saint-Laurent. It got towed away fairly quickly, so I am not seeing a huge delay in that area. There is some resulting congestion, Papineau to Saint-Laurent, but it is dissipating quite rapidly. And if you're heading for the westbound De La Tour Bridge, you do now have a 10-minute delay. And a CJAD 800 listener called a while back saying that there's quite a few potholes at the beginning of the westbound De La Tour Bridge, so I believe that is the reason for that delay. There's also a slowdown now occurring on the 15 south from Sherbrooke all the way at Tatwater because there's no access onto the eastbound Ville-Marie throughout the weekend. 15 north also has a slowdown from Atwater into Turcotte. A good option to go downtown is Bonaventure Autoroute. The Power of the Infinity event is on now. Get up to $2,000 in auto show credits on all new vehicles until the end of January. Visit your Montreal Infinity retailer today. Let us know what you see out on the roads. Call in your tips to Star 800. Your next report 1:30.
The Real Estate Show is brought to you by Northeast Mortgages.
Good Sunday to you. The Big After inventory sale at Boulevard has been so successful for our clients. They have benefited from incredible prices. But if you haven't had the chance to drop by to see us, it's not a problem. You still have until 9 p.m. this Wednesday to take advantage. Now that is great news. Don't miss out on this amazing sale. You could choose from the widest selection of products from the best brands at great prices, and it's found in all of our departments. Plus, you can pay it up to 36 interest-free payments. We offer the largest inventory in town. Furniture, mattresses, decoration accessories, appliances, and electronics. And let me remind you, our delivery is free all week long, and it's flexible. We'll confirm the 4-hour delivery time frame the day before. We can even take away your old appliances at no extra charge. Until 9 p.m. this Wednesday, it's the Big After inventory sale in all of our departments. Come profit from great prices and pay in up to 36 interest-free payments. Don't miss it. Boulevard about a quality and price, selected brands and models.
How Bell makes watching TV better. Until January 31st, get an amazing bundle, including 5 TV with all the major networks, TMN, HBO Canada, Crave TV, and 10 a la carte channels. Plus, enjoy 5 Internet 25 and unlimited long-distance calling in Quebec. Switch to Bell today and get all this for $99.85 per month, thanks to guaranteed savings of $49 per month off the regular price for a full year. Call 310-BELL or visit a Bell store for details. Bell, watching TV just got better.
30 degrees, sun's shining, a perfect day. Would you really turn down a boat ride? 30 degrees, sun's shining, a perfect day. Would you turn down a game of Marco Polo in a public pool? Yeah, that's what I thought. No one turns down a boat. So how about 450 of them? The Montreal Boat and Water Sports Show, Place Bonaventure, February 1 to 4. Presented by Desjardins, the QMA, Aviva, TVA, and Expo Nature.
If your dogs or your friends spill stuff or otherwise damage your carpets, I can clean and repair them. I am Shuja Bashir of Bashir Persian Carpets.
Call 514-735-1958 or visit BashirCarpets.com.
You're tuned in to The Real Estate Show on CJAD 800 with Chantal Desjardins and Terry Kilakos, president of North East Mortgages.
Welcome back to The Real Estate Show featuring Terry Kilakos, president of Northeast Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker, and myself, Chantal Desjardins. Any calls you have for us, 514-790-0800 or text us at 514-800, and we are streaming live on Facebook. Go to Terry Kilakos' Facebook page, and you can see what we look like, and you can judge for yourself if Terry looks like The Rock or The Rock's cousin or The Rock's second brother or The Pebble, which is like, even better than The Rock is what I feel.
Because it's cuter and
it's cute.
like,
It's a bit rounder
than
The Rock. Rock's more edgy.
Yeah.
You're not edgy.
Yeah.
You're kind of edgy.
At least I'm not like a boulder.
So before the break, we were talking about the pros and cons of buying versus renting. Basically, what you're saying is any of my friends that thought that renting was the best move because then they could, save whatever money on everything else and invest it somewhere else. That's just a bad idea. Just buy if you have the money.
No. So, okay. So if you ask certain financial advisors, certain people, they're going to say to you that renting is the way to go. Right. Because you rent, you pay a very little amount of rent. You're in rent control here in Quebec, and your rent is not going to go up very much. So, and then you save that difference. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you invest it somewhere else.
And you invest it in somewhere else. Now, the reality is that people don't function like that. Okay. There's very few people out there that will make money and spend what they need to spend on their rent and then say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take the rest and I'm going to save it.
Right.
Okay.
Most of us are like, wee, Mexico.
Exactly. This is the way that the human psyche works. Like the human, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say.
Okay. So, when you're buying a property, what you're actually creating is you're creating a forced savings. Okay, so I'm going to give you a very simple example. And I've talked about this before. When I was, growing up, my idea was to always buy an investment property. So when I turned 24, I bought my first fourplex and I moved into it and I had my tenants pay for me to live. Mm-hmm. Right now, I was comfortable being, I'm a handy guy, right? I mean, anyone that knows me and comes to see me at the office, I don't really have the hands of a paper pusher. It's, I get down and dirty when I have to. I'll change a toilet bowl. I'll do what needs to be done. So it's not, for me personally, all my friends who decided to go off and rent, fast forward now, I'm in my 40s, they're in their 40s, they're all still renting. Because it's very hard when you leave the comfort of mom and dad's house, for you to go out into the renting world and then, be, actually be disciplined enough to sit there and save and do this and do that. So unfortunately, the people that started off renting continue to rent.
Right.
Okay. And it ends up delaying their ability to buy for those that do. And I see the ones that actually have started off renting, they eventually say, hey, you know what? I'm tired of renting. I'm going to go and buy something. Now, all of a sudden, they're either in their late 30s or early 40s because they had to have all these years to save up this money. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they've spent a ton of money on all the all the rent that they've paid over the years. Plus, the price of real estate has gone up. So I'm going to give you just another simple example of a client that I had pre-approved about 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, when I met with him, he says to me, I want to get pre-approved, but I know that the house prices are going to drop. And I'm like, dude, house prices are not going to drop.
Dude, where are you getting your info from?
Anytime soon. No. I know what I'm talking about.
I don't like this guy already.
I'm like, okay, no problem. Do your thing, right? Go rent. So he goes off, he starts renting, right? Year one goes by. Every year or every 6 months, he would call me, I need a new pre-approval. Nothing is the right price range. Nothing is the right. Meanwhile, every year the prices are just going up and
Right.
up and up and up and up. And then finally, about a year and a half ago, he's like, I
Dude.
found a house.
Oh, good. Okay, good
So I'm
for
like,
him.
okay, let's do it, right? So we start the process, and the house that he was looking at was about the same house. Had he bought it about 8 years back, he would have been able to buy it for close to $100,000 less. Firstly, okay. Secondly, he probably he was spending, I think, like $1,200 or $1,300 a month in rent.
That just goes away.
That just
you don't
goes
even
away.
get anything for it.
Right? So when you sat down and we did the calculations, he was like, I should have bought like years ago. And I'm like, whatever. I mean, it's never too late. But it's just, you got to be, I think that it's important that everyone, does the proper homework, does their due diligence on their own. And really, it's a kind of a thing that you have to look deep inside. Don't just take the advice of a financial planner. Don't forget, when you buy a house, what are you doing? You're liquidating a part of your portfolio for that down payment, right? That actually helps or puts a monkey wrench in the spoke of the financial planner's commissions.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Because you got to think of, what people's kind of motivations are too.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's always important that you look at where the advice is coming from, and you kind of take it with a grain of salt and you analyze it, and you go from there. My advice, obviously, I make money when people get mortgages by property, but I also have a financial company, right? So I make money from mortgages, I make money from real estate, and I make money from people investing.
Right.
And it's very, very important in life, just like in anything else, you need to have that balance. If you don't have that balance, you're done. Forget it. It's over.
That is the voice of Terry Kilakos. You can call him for life advice at Northeast Mortgages, 514-680-4674. If you have questions for us right now, 514-800, you can text us, or 514-790-0800. Now, let's talk about the difference between a mortgage broker and a bank when we're buying our first house.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to. If you'd rather talk about something else.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Difference between a mortgage broker and a bank. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Okay, well, let's look at what a mortgage broker is first. Okay, a mortgage broker is someone that actually goes to school to study for a profession, right? And then we have to pass a government test. We get licensed. Once we're licensed, we have to have malpractice insurance. Okay, so just like a doctor, just like anything else. Once all that stuff is in place, we actually have a fiduciary duty for our clients to always look out for their interest. So that's a mortgage broker. A banker, or when you go to a bank, what you're dealing with is you're dealing with a sales rep of that bank, right? Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with banks. I mean, ultimately, when you go through a mortgage broker, you are going to get your mortgage through a bank, right? I mean, it's not just going to come in. It's not, we don't have like briefcases under our desks that we were like, hey, here you go. Here's like, $300,000.
Right.
It does come from a bank, but the advice has to make sense, right? So at the end of the day, when you're getting that advice from someone who probably is renting, has never bought anything, the week before they were a teller or something like that. Nothing wrong with tellers, but
No.
It's just not the same thing, right? So a mortgage broker, it's a profession. The other guys are just kind of salespeople.
More with Terry coming up, and we'll talk about the new rules and the fact that the rates have gone up and how that impacts people's buying power coming up after this.
The Real Estate Show is brought to you by Northeast Mortgages.
Elton John's farewell tour comes to Montreal October 4th at the Bell Centre, and CJAD 800 wants to send you 5 decades of classics. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Captain Fantastic, Madman Across the Water. Listen to Aaron Rand weekday afternoons at 4:50 for your chance to win.
Cleaning out the garage? If you have dishes gathering dust and clothes you no longer wear, don't throw them out. Bring them to Renaissance. Give your old stuff a new home and new life to people re-entering the workplace. Feel good. Click on renaissancequebec.ca.
Volvo knows there's no greater luxury than arriving safe and sound. That's why the Volvo XC90 combines the comforts of Scandinavian design with the protection of cutting-edge intelligent safety innovations, giving your family the luxury and protection they deserve. Lease a 2018 Volvo XC90 T5 or T6 from 1.9% and receive $1,000 off when you sign up at the Montreal Auto Show. Visit your Greater Montreal Volvo retailer or volvocars.ca for details. How Bell makes watching TV better. Until January 31st, get an amazing bundle, including 5 TV with all the major networks, TMN, HBO Canada, Crave TV, and 10 a la carte channels. Plus, enjoy 5 Internet 25 and unlimited long-distance calling in Quebec. Switch to Bell today and get all this for $99.85 per month, thanks to guaranteed savings of $49 per month off the regular price for a full year. Call 310-BELL or visit a Bell store for details. Bell, watching TV just got better.
For a facelift, you go to a plastic surgeon. For a room makeover, you go to the #1 decor specialist, C&M Textiles. For 70 years, C&M Textile stores have had the best fabric choices for upholstery, bedding, pillows, drapes, and the biggest selection of custom blinds, window coverings, and automation ever seen. While C&M scours the world for the best quality products at the best value, the considerable savings and expertise are passed directly on to you. 70 years, 4 stores, and experienced design consultants all waiting to serve you now. Visit cmtextiles.com for more.
Buying contact lenses?
ContactLensKing.com.
At ContactLensKing.com, just choose your brand, fill in your prescription, and have your new lenses delivered right to your door. That's it. Save up to 70% on Air Optics, AccuView, dailies, and more.
ContactLensKing.com.
No more hassles, just savings. So order your contact lenses today. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
ContactLensKing.com. It's so easy. ContactLensKing.com.
Honey, we should go variable on our mortgage. We'll save more money.
I prefer the security of fixed payments. Let's call Terry Kilakos.
I'm Terry Kilakos. Deciding between a fixed or variable rate is an important decision. Whether you're purchasing your first home or renewing an existing mortgage, one appointment with me is like meeting with over 20 financial institutions. Let me help guide you to make the right decision for your situation. Call me today at 514-680-4674.
Let Terry Kilakos and his team of mortgage brokers with Northeast Mortgages help you. It's simple and it's free. Call 514-680-4674.
Good afternoon. This is Luciano Pipia. Here's what's making news at 1:30. A 32-year-old pedestrian is now said to be in stable condition after being struck by a car in the Mercier-Hochelaga-Maisonneuve borough. Police said the collision happened last night, intersection of Frontenac and Huet. The victim was taken to hospital with serious head injuries. The driver, 23-year-old man, was heading north on Frontenac. Parliament resumes tomorrow, a place where Prime Minister Trudeau says he wants to see more women. He says more females should enter politics. Said so as he rallied his party caucus at a meeting in advance of tomorrow's return to the Commons. He adds making workplaces better, safer, and more welcoming for women is the smart thing to do. France's government is sticking by its budget minister as he fights a rape accusation. Budget Minister Gérald Darmanin is the highest-ranking French official accused of sexual misconduct since the scandals that broke in Hollywood. Darmanin has strongly denied wrongdoing. Other members of President Emmanuel Macron's government expressed support for him today. More news at CJAD.com. From the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, Kira Yeager.
There is word of an accident now on the 15 north at around Atwater, and you're backing up to Wellington. You might want to avoid that delay if you're heading into town by using the Bonaventure Auto Route. There's also quite a few ramp closures in the Turcotte Interchange, Décarie South, 20 east onto eastbound Ville-Marie, 15 north and Décarie South onto 20 westbound. As a result, you do have a delay on the 15 south from Sherbrooke to around Atwater. Décarie north, a backing down to Côte St. Catherine, westbound Illator Bridge quite busy as well from St. Anne de Bellevue due to potholes. Shop and save at Mr. Lube, located in your local Walmart. Bring in a Walmart receipt and get $10 off any oil change. No appointment necessary, only at Mr. Lube. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJAD 800. Your next report, 1:45.
From the Dormez-vous Weather Center, scattered flurries this afternoon, gusty winds out of the southwest with 4 for the high. Mainly cloudy tonight, the odd flurry this evening with a low of -11, and then mainly cloudy tomorrow, high of -9. Similar temperatures, but with snow right now for Tuesday. Temperature at the moment in Montreal is a pretty mild 3 degrees. Next update at 2 o'clock. Breaking news as it happens. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
The Real Estate Show is brought to you by Northeast Mortgages.
No one likes what-if questions, like what if a loved one can no longer live alone? Chateau Dollard has the answers. The finest care, devoted staff, all in a cozy West Island setting for 25 years. Call 514-685-4444 or visit chateaudollard.com.
Your small or medium-sized business looks great online. Now it's time to move into your own office at Westmount Business and Trade Center, a shared workspace in a prestigious central location. Green Avenue and de Maisonneuve. See clients in the boardroom. Set up a showroom for your stock. Move in now and take advantage of attractive opening rates with no contract. You choose the size of your office, the furniture, and even the color. Westmount Business and Trade Center. Check it out online and book your visit today at westmountbusinesstradecenter.com.
Tame winter in a new Mercedes-Benz from Mercedes-Benz Laval. In addition to working with an outstanding team before, during, and after acquiring your vehicle, Mercedes-Benz Laval always offers the best competitive prices on all models. Get a sporty 2018 C300 4MATIC for just $519 a month, or a 2018 GLA 250 4MATIC SUV for as little as $459 monthly. Hurry in, but drive safely.
Mercedes-Benz Laval. Welcome to the family. More details at Mercedes-Benz Laval.
Santra Hi-Fi, for you and with you, proudly throughout Quebec since 1985. Now with over 50 stores, the world's top brand in home electronics at the lowest prices with 36 months to pay. Thanks for your confidence. Santra Hi-Fi.
The colder the weather got, the colder our floors got.
I almost had a heart attack when I got our electricity bill.
Panic time!
Worried about your crawl space? Don't panic. Système Sous-Sol Québec offers a wide range of crawl space options, including insulation to help keep your floors warm this winter. Système Sous-Sol Québec. Permanent solutions for your crawl space with the best warranties. Visit fixbasement.ca for all things basement-y. That's fixbasement.ca.
The Real Estate Show on CJAD 800. Your real estate and mortgaging questions answered with Terry Kilakos, president of Northeast Mortgages. Here's your host, Chantal Desjardins.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Show, featuring Terry Kilakos, grinning ear to ear. On the other side, don't know what he's looking at.
Oh, you don't want to know what I'm looking
President of Northeast Mortgages and Chartered Mortgage Broker. I'm Chantal Desjardins. We are getting texts and Facebook messages fast and furious. I feel like that's what you're laughing about right now. Where do you want to start? Texts? Want to do a couple texties?
Yeah, let's do the text.
All right. So Laura texted in, if you are studying abroad, do you recommend buying or renting?
Okay, so I mean, obviously it's going to depend on whether or not you're if you actually are able to get financing, right? At the end of the day, it's very important that you actually qualify for that mortgage. Usually when you're coming in, you're studying from abroad, you're going to come in as a foreign investor at that point. And at that point, the down payments are much higher. You could still get financing. It just gets a little bit complicated. Plus, sometimes you need a cosigner to actually sign for that mortgage with you, right? Typically, in a case like that, if you're not planning on staying here and you're not getting kind of that permanency, you're better off kind of renting. Okay, but then we have a lot of students that come in and they buy, and actually a lot of them are buying cash right now because they're coming in with oodles of cash that they got from overseas and different places, and it's very interesting.
Do you just need to show that you have a bunch of cash, or don't you also need to show that you're making money?
If you're not getting a mortgage, you can just go out and buy a place. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you got like a couple of $100,000, you go down, you buy
doesn't? Sitting around.
There's a lot of people that do.
Okay.
So I'm just saying.
Okay. I've done something wrong in my life.
That's because you didn't meet me earlier.
Right, exactly. That's exactly it. And if anybody wants to call us right now, 514-790-0800 or text us, 514-800, although we have a lot of texts. So, hi, Terry, I rent, Anthony says. Pay close to $1,300 a month. Is there any way to buy a house without a down payment, seeing that I can pay $1,300 a month? No problem.
Short answer, yes. Gets a little complicated. But yes, there is ways that you can structure that purchase without having that 5%. You got to keep something in mind. A lot of people are thinking that down payments have actually gone up. down payments have not gone up. It's still 5%. As long as you're buying for under $500,000, it's still only 5% down that you need. So sometimes it's fairly easy to come up with it. Part of the process, or what we do, and it's good because I'm glad we got this question, because part of what we do is we actually help people structure their down payment, structure their credit if need be, show them what they need to do for their income. So there's steps that need to be taken when you're applying for a mortgage, right? Yes, there's some people that'll come in and they have great job, great income, they have good down payment, and their credit is exceptional. It's not all the cases like that. So you got to kind of work on it. I got a couple of texts actually that came in from Facebook. One from Elisa, who actually was in a bit of a panic when she heard me. She was like, rates went up. What the hell? We're going to see a house this afternoon, and stay tuned. So yes, rates have gone up. And there was actually another texter that wanted to know what the rates were up to. If you're buying a home and you're going to be living in it, and you're buying it with 5 or 10% down, you're looking at interest rates that are still around the 2.9 territory, right? So you could still get away with rates that are still below 3%. If you're refinancing a home and you're taking money out, or you're buying it conventional, let's say you want to go to 30 years, anything like that, the rates have gone up for that. And in that case, you're looking at rates that are somewhere closer to the 3.3 range. So rates have gone up, yes. Will they go back down? I believe so. I think that probably within the next month, we'll probably see a couple of lenders start dropping rates, just like we've already started to see. Rates had actually spiked higher than what they are currently. And I said that all with one breath. There you go.
Do you want this last one? What's the time frame regarding a pre-approved mortgage?
Typically, pre-approvals are good for 90 to 120 days, depending on the lender that we use.
Okay.
And we got a caller. We got a couple of callers coming in too.
I can't even keep up. We also just got more text messages. So if we're gonna get this caller, do we want to get this caller on the air?
Moses.
All right, let's get Moses on the air.
All right.
Hi, Moses.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Hey, Moses. Bring us to the promised land.
Okay.
We'll be here all week.
What's going on, my friend?
Okay, do you do home equity loan?
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's see what's because I have a very little mortgage, but I have some credit card that I owe a lot of money for the credit card. So I would like to take home equity loan to pay all the credit cards.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is something that we do. Again, it's a calculation that we have to do, whether it makes more sense to set up a whole new portion to your mortgage, or if it makes more sense to set it up on a line of credit.
No, the huge percentage.
Is it?
Percentage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can look at that. You can give me a call at the office. Our number is 514-680-4674. I'll be happy to.
It's not the same number I called now.
No, this is the radio station you called. So,
okay.
yeah. So
what's the number? 514?
514-680.
Okay.
4674. And yeah, we'll set something up, and we'll see what we can come up with for you.
Okay, very good. Should I call? Should I ask somebody?
Yeah, just call and ask for me, and Olympia will set it. Olympia, our beautiful assistant, will set it all up for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask for Olympia. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Moses.
Thank you so much for you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
We've got another call coming in from Rick, who wants to buy more property.
Hey, Rick.
How you doing?
Excellent.
Good. I own a house fully outright.
Okay.
I have no credit card debt, like a zero balance, zero line of credit balance, and my wife and I are looking to buy another house and possibly another one. So we'll live in one and rent the two others, and I just don't know how to go about doing that. I think I'm too chicken to, as far as investments are concerned, that's what I would consider my investment, like for retirement.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't believe in RSPs. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are saying, what? But,
well, Rick, you gotta look at it like this. I mean, you gotta have a balance, right? I mean, it wouldn't. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show a little bit, but it's so important that it's important to have RRSPs. It's important to have property. It's important to have open investments. Kind of limiting yourself to one thing, if you will, is never a good idea because, for example, you got to keep in mind, right? You have a home that's fully paid off. If you want to get that money out of that home, what do you have to do? Either you have to sell that home or you need to refinance it. Either way, it's a process. You don't have a lot of liquidity. So it's always good to have that liquidity, by having investments and RSPs and so on and so forth. But I do agree with you that owning real estate is the way to go primarily. And typically what I would suggest we do is, again, you come into the office, we'll sit down, we run through, your kind of debt loads and all that stuff. Once we've determined how much your buying power is, it's just a matter of going out and finding something, right? It's hard, when it's getting out of your comfort zone. But once you get out of your comfort zone, you'll buy one, and then that one can become two, and then two becomes three and four, and your kind of little real estate portfolio starts to grow like that. And before you know it, you're a multi-millionaire by accident.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's not to be a multi-millionaire. I just a good little nest egg to retire comfortably.
Yeah. And sorry, Rick, go on.
I've got about, according to Stats Canada, I've got about 20 years to go before I retire. So, so I don't want to get it too late in the game. And, as I said, just making that first step is like really hard, and I just don't know how to do it.
Fair enough.
Well, that's what we're there for, and I'll be happy to sit down and hold your hand through the whole process. I mean, this is what we do. Thanks,
Rick.
Rick.
Hands. Thanks, Rick. One more text. You want to get to it?
Yeah.
I own a condo. It's fully paid for. I'd like to move from that building and live somewhere else. I'd be looking to buy my new place of residence. If I sell my current condo, I wouldn't need a mortgage on my new property. Am I better off renting the condo to generate some income and taking a small mortgage? Probably about $200,000.
So what I would do is I would check. Sorry, I'm losing my power to speak. I'm trying to get this through before the traffic. Okay. What I would do is I would actually go remortgage that condo. Okay, so we're going to get as much financing as we possibly can on it. Keep in mind that mortgage is going to be used for investment purposes. So because it's going to be used for investment purposes, theoretically becomes tax deductible, right? So there's ways of structuring things where it's going to make the most amount of sense for her or him. I'm not sure if it's, for some reason I thought it was a her. Didn't say. Anyways, for some, whatever. I don't know. It sounded in my mind.
It did sound a little bit.
Yeah.
I felt it was, we'll call her Wanda.
Wanda, yeah. As we get a message back, it's Chuck. Okay, I'm going to continue that after the traffic. I was going way too fast
Sounds
on
good.
that.
More with Terry and Wanda coming up, but for now, let's take a look at the roads with Kira Yeager.
Looking quite decent out there, especially to and from the West Island. Quite nice on the 40 and the 20, although if you are headed into Vaudreuil right now on the 40 westbound, the westbound Dilator Bridge does have a delay of, I would say, about 10 minutes because of so many potholes at the beginning of the bridge. It just means you have to slow down to avoid them. Décarie North has a delay as well. You're backing down to Côte St. Catherine. There's a delay on the 15 south from Sherbrooke out to de la Vérandre right now because of the ramp closures in the Turcotte, and the 50 north has a slowdown from Atwater into Turcotte. That also is due to the ramp closures. No access onto the eastbound Ville-Marie, no access onto 20 westbound. If you're heading to the airport, Décarie North onto the westbound Côte de Liesse is a fairly decent option apart from the delay at the top end of Décarie North. The half price promo is on this week at Renault Depot. Get hundreds of selected products at half price. Conditions apply. Renault Depot in store and online. Let us know what you see on the roads. Call in your tips to star 800. Your next report, 2 o'clock.
Whether it's on the screen or behind the scenes, Canada's best movie talk. The Richard Krause Show, this afternoon at 5. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
The Real Estate Show is brought to you by Northeast Mortgages.
Backed by popular demand, it's CTV's Super Bowl 52 Watch to Win contest. With over $300,000 in cash and prizes, including a grand prize of $150,000. Watch the Eagles take on the Patriots in Super Bowl 52 live on CTV and enter during the game for a chance to win. CTV's Super Bowl Watch to Win contest. It all starts Sunday, February 4th at 6. No purchase necessary. Skill testing question required. For details, visit ctv.ca/Super Bowl contest.
What better way to start the new year than by giving yourself a brand new BMW? Behind the wheel of your dream car, 2018 could become a year of driving pleasure. Visit the Montreal Auto Show to see all our models. To mark the event, we're offering a $1,000 credit on most 2018 models, on top of all other applicable offers. Hurry! This offer is available from January 18th to the 31st, only at Montreal area retailers. You'll also get no-charge scheduled maintenance. See you at the Montreal Auto Show or at a BMW dealer.
Like all parents, you want what's best for your children. So do the staff at the Lester B. Pearson School Board. There's nothing more important than a solid educational foundation. Make Lester B. Pearson your partner in starting your child's path to success by registering for kindergarten at the LBPSB. Registration starts the week of January 29th at your local school, or you can call admissions at 514-422-3022. For more information, visit lbpsb.qc.ca and Facebook. Join a community whose collective goal is your child's future. The Lester B. Pearson School Board.
Epic morning fail. Got in the shower with my glasses still on, put on night cream instead of day cream, and I found the coffee pot in the fridge. I don't even know. But hey, my day is looking up, going to Pharmaprix to get points. Maybe some more coffee too.
Today's the last day to spend $75 or more on almost anything at Pharmaprix and get 18,500 Pharmaprix Optimum bonus points. That's like $25 worth of free stuff. And free feels good. Restrictions apply. Details in store.
Hey, it's Caroline of Bon Si Bon.
And Michael.
And I'm Natalia, chef and kitchen manager at Bon Si Bon.
And we're all part of the Bon Si Bon team.
Providing you with delicious, healthy meals to save you time.
Because we know time is of the essence.
The essence of time is wonderful, like in our grilled lemon thyme chicken.
Time. Clever.
Thanks, Bear.
Could we stay focused, please?
Sorry.
10 minutes is all you need to register and order online.
Dinner's always ready at Bon Si Bon, BONCBON.com.
Discover Walt Disney World Resort in Florida with CAA Quebec Travel and take advantage of a special ticket offer reserved for Canadian residents only. Save 20% on the advanced purchase of admission tickets for 4 days or more at Walt Disney World Resort theme parks. To enjoy this offer and receive your free gift, book your Disney vacation with CAA Quebec Travel by February 10th. Call 1-844-VOYAGER today. CAA Quebec Travel, authorized Disney vacation planner. At Lunetterie Farah, start off the new year with 70% off frames. It's easy. You need prescription eyeglasses? At Farah, you get 70% off frames. Don't miss out on this offer. Find a location near you at farah.com. Details in store.
Northeast Mortgages presents The Real Estate Show with Chantal Desjardins and Terry Kilakos, live online and on CJAD 800.
If only you could hear what happens between the breaks. And usually you can on Facebook. Thankfully, we've turned off the audio for today, but next week we will put it back on.
Well, there was that incident, right?
There was what incident?
Yeah, never mind.
Okay. That's the voice of Terry Kilakos, president of North East Mortgages and chartered mortgage broker. I'm Chantal Desjardins. We got to the bottom of the mystery. Her name is not Wanda. She just texted back saying, sorry about that. I'm not Wanda. My name's Anita. Thanks for taking my text.
There you go.
So there you go.
See, at least I knew it was a woman.
We did know it was a woman. Somebody else texted in, where can I find out what the rental price should be for a 5.5 upper duplex?
I mean, you can contact the local real estate brokers, and they'll be more than happy to kind of let you know what the going rental price is, or you can kind of look around, right? I mean, you can just open up some ads and see what it's going for. That's what we typically do.
What about, is a credit score of 850 considered good?
Oh, it's terrible. It's exceptional.
It's exceptional. They probably knew that too.
It's very good.
They're like, is this amazing or what?
Yeah. No, it's very good. It's excellent.
What else is needed for when you apply a mortgage? That's
okay.
another one.
So It's important because we went off on a total tangent. Like I usually do.
Right.
Okay.
You haven't broken anything yet.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, the hour is early.
Yeah. Well, there's still 9 minutes left. So
it's early-ish.
Okay. I would recommend that people kind of, if you go on our website, so northeastmortgages.ca, look at, we had 3 segments that we did. So 3 shows back to back. For the life of me, I don't know which ones it were, but if you go, you'll see the tags. And we had all the different elements that are required when you're buying a property. They're all listed. There's a show dedicated to each one. Now, to summarize, when you're applying for a mortgage, what you need is 3 things. You need credit, you need income, and you need equity. In other words, you need a down payment. Now, when you're buying a single-family home, a condo, or a duplex, the minimum down payment is 5%, provided that it's under $500,000. If it's over $500,000 that you're buying, the first block of $500,000 is going to be 5%, and anything above that $500,000 mark is going to be 10%. Anything over $1 million, 20%. At that point, you need to put 20% down. For some bizarre reason, there's been this misconception lately. People think that they need to put 20%. You do not need 20%. 5% is still the minimum. So that's the first thing. Yeah?
20% you save something.
20% you save the CMHC.
Right.
So yes, it does.
It is beneficial.
It is beneficial. But if it means that you have to go out and rent for a couple of years to save up that down payment, well, it doesn't make sense because you're going to end up spending all this money on rent. Right. So you got to balance it out. So that's the first thing. Second thing that's looked at is your credit. Okay. So what's your credit score? Credit scores range from 300 to 900. Magic number, 650. As long as your credit score is above 650, you're good. If your credit score is below that, mortgage starts to grow a little bit of hair. If your credit score is below 610, you're in trouble. It's going to be very difficult to get financing, especially for a purchase. So that's that one.
So what can you do to up it?
It's just a matter of looking to see what's going on in there, what's causing those issues, right? Is it late payments? Is it over limits? Is, all those wonderful things.
But you can come back from it.
Of course, absolutely. You can come back from anything. As long as you're not 6 feet under, you're good to go. Okay? So, yes.
Good one.
So that's that. The last thing that's looked at is your income. And over there's a couple of indebtment ratios that are looked at, your GDS and TDS. Your GDS ratio focuses specifically on the property that you're buying, so condo fees, property and school taxes, mortgage payments, heating cost, all that good stuff. The other one looks at all your debts put together. So all those things plus your your car payments and lines of credit and credit cards and loans and all that wonderful jazz. Those elements put together will determine how much you actually qualify for and how much you don't. The other thing that's important to remember on the income side, remember right now we're actually qualifying people, regardless of what your interest rate is. You could have 1% for a 5-year fixed. I can't get 1% for a 5-year fixed. I'm using it as an example. Don't call me tomorrow and say, you said you could get 1% for 5-year. I'm using it as an example, okay? Even if you get 1% for a 5-year fix, your rate still has to be qualified on the Bank of Canada rate, which is 5.14%, or 2% above the contractual rate that you're receiving. So if you have a rate of 3.5%, we have to qualify it on 5.5%. Okay?
Okay. Wow.
There you go. I got it all out.
I liked it.
I'm like looking at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, and there's a caller.
And there's a caller?
Yeah, there's a caller.
Should we get to the caller?
Let's get to the caller.
Let's get to the caller.
Yeah. Wait, do we have a caller? We have a caller.
Hey, David, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Good. I was wondering, I was asking a question regarding the new real estate tax increases by Mrs. Plant, our lovely new mayor.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, can the landlord, pass on those expenses to renters?
Absolutely.
So let's say the increase is by 10% for real estate tax. He can increase the rent by that amount?
Yes, there's an actual calculation. If you go on the Régie de Logement's website, okay, you'll be able to get the rental calculator sheet. And I'm getting like a sign here that I need to be cut off. So what I suggest you do is I'll put a post on my Facebook page. If you go on facebook.com, I'll put a post to Régie de Logement's website and you'll get all the information. Thanks, David. Sorry about that.
time. We're
I
coming
know,
out of
we
time.
burnt,
You
we
did a great
burnt.
job, though.
Yeah.
That's Terry Kilakos, the president of North East Mortgage and
Yeah.
Chartered Mortgage Brokers. You can call him at 514-680-4674. You can creep him on his Facebook page. You can see that he's dropped 10 pounds in a week and a half. 11 pounds just by cutting out carbs.
That's right.
For the Speedo shoot coming up.
Yeah.
That's it for us. We'll see you again next Sunday, everybody.
The opinions expressed in the preceding program were provided for general information purposes only and should not be construed as advice from CJAD 800 or Bell Media. Listeners